Welcome to Check It Out. This is the Best Books of 2024 edition. My name is Janeé Jackson-Doring, and I'm so excited to be with you this morning. This is going to be a condensed version of the Best Books of 2024 because there's so many books. There were so many books that I've read or lists that I looked at, things that I thought, that you should have on your radar. So I'm going to talk a lot about some of the books I chose, but also different lists that you can view as well. So here we go. Our plan is this. We're going to cover some funny read aloud picture books that I think you should have in your storytime collection. I'll also share my middle grade picks of 2024, graphic novel picks, teen picks. I'll share the best of sources list. So all the lists that I found, I had compiled up. But there's a lot of also upcoming events that I need to share with you. The Check It Out book prize winners and 2025, what I'm checking out. And also, there's just a lot of things going on. So I want to make sure I make time to tell you all the cool events that are happening within the next couple months, because it is going to be jam-packed in January, February, March. Let's see. Marcia says, can we get a copy of the slides? Yes. So in Workday Learning, there'll be a copy of the slides along with the evaluation there. Joni says, not your department, Janeé, but I would love to see an adult best books of 2024, nonfic, mystery, historical fiction, and such. Oh man, I know it's hard. It's hard to get those lists up, but I'm happy to share this list with you. And I can, if you want, Joni, I can email you some lists with the adult picks as well. If you're interested, I can definitely do that too. So here we go. So yes, for those of you that are new to Check It Out, or you're like, what the heck is Check It Out and what it's all about and what is librarianship in general, I just want to say a warm welcome to you. My contact information is below. You can reach me by phone or email. Please reach out. I love to visit libraries. I have visited so far within my 2 years in this position. I've visited 81 libraries. So it's been awesome to see all the different libraries and what you guys do and all the cool kid and teen programs. And a lot of people know that when I visit your library, I bring books with me. So please reach out. I would love to visit your library, especially for summer. And I wanted to post something that brings me joy this month. This is a interactive mug. This is something that brought me joy this month. My mother-in-law bought me a mug that says, sorry, I'm booked. And I was like, oh, this is super cute. But what makes this mug interactive, the cool thing, is that it has a QR code on the mug. So you scan the QR code and it takes you to a website and it lists a quote of the day from an author, from a book. It's super cool. The website where she got it from, it's called uncommongifts.com, but it's an interactive mug. And I thought, wow, this is so cool. So every day now, when I have my coffee in the morning, I scan the QR code and it'll give me a quote from a famous author every day. So that brings me joy this month. So I hope you find something that brings you joy in December. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. Someone already found it. Yes, Christy found the link. Yes, uncommongoods.com. It's a literature everyday interactive mug. It is so cool. I texted her, I said, this is the best Christmas gift ever. I love it. And as I am talking about some of my favorites of 2024, please tell us in the chat, what were your favorite books in 2024? We all learn from each other, and some books you may not have in your collection. So let us all know. Tell us in the chat, what were your favorite books? All right, we are going to start with some funny picture book read alouds. And for you today, I have 3 of my favorite funny picture book read alouds this year. The first one to your left is called I Do Not Eat Children. And I'm going to pull my notes real quick. And this is written and illustrated by Marcus Cutler. This is about a clever, sneaky monster who says, I do not eat children. I would never eat a child. What do you think I am? A monster? And he's saying this as he's reaching towards a child. This was a laugh out loud, no brainer. This was a laugh out loud monster romp where the monster blames the reader. And he says, maybe it's you that eat children, until he burps out the evidence. And it's the kids and their skateboards and all the things that they're playing with. But I loved it. This was fun. Each time you are holding the book and you are reading the sentence or two, you can see the kids playing, but you can see as you turn the page one by one, the kids are missing. The kids start to become missing. And the monster gets a taste of his own medicine at the end because the little girl says, well, guess what? I eat monsters. And so she eats the monster. Um, very cute. This is awesome that you can pair it with a monster story time where you can pair it with Go Away Big Green Monster for just a fun monster story time. Very fun, adorable monster books. And you know you've got kids that love monsters. So definitely grab that book. The other book in the middle is called Dog versus Strawberry. I love Dog versus Strawberry. This is written by Nellie Bouchette and illustrated by Andrea Zuil. And basically, it's a competition between a dog and a strawberry. When a dog is handed a strawberry from the fruit bowl, the dog sizes it up, dances around it with her tail, and decides she is going to race the strawberry. And I love at the beginning of the book, in this corner you have dog, and in this corner is strawberry. She dashes left, right, then uh-oh, over the couch in an attempt to outrun her opponent. Strawberry doesn't move. Throughout this whole book, dog is moving, but strawberry doesn't move. But that doesn't stop dog from continuing to race. And eventually it's neck and neck between dog and strawberry until mom walks in to see what all the fuss is about, and splat. The strawberry is splat. Super cute, super engaging. This would be a fun read aloud, especially like if you're just wanting a silly story. You can really get into it and you can have the kids get into it. You can have them predict who's going to win. Who do you think's going to win? See what they say. Listen to their comments. Super engaging, super fun. Maybe it might be good for maybe a sports themed story time too, because it's racing. But definitely grab Dog versus Strawberry. And Pigtown Party. Pigtown Party is super cute. This is written by Leanne Cho. I had the wrong name, excuse me. Leanne Cho. And what happens is a mysterious invite is addressed to Cutie. And when it arrives in the mail, a young girl follows the mailman through the hedges and discovers a dazzling secret world of, you guessed it, pigs. Pigs on bikes, pigs in bakeries, pigs on their way to the mansion. And when their Cutie's like, why are they going to this mansion for this party? So she goes to the address on her invite and she's welcomed into this epic party of pigs. And they're dressed in costumes and all different kinds of costumes. And they love her costume because they think she's another pig. So they think she's dressed up as a human. But Cutie is realizing their mistake and she's trying to set the record straight. And she's flattered with all of these costumes and stuff, but they call her Cutie, but then there's another pig named Cutie, and they get into a fight, and she also takes their cake. She takes their cake all the way home, and these pigs are mad. They're chasing after her, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to eat this cake, only to find out the cake is made of mud. Gross. But it's very fun, very engaging. Definitely grab these 3 funny picture book read alouds. Okay, we are going to switch gears. And I'm pulling up my notes because I have so many notes, and we're going to go to middle grade picks. Again, there were a ton of books, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how do you narrow it down to the best of the best? Um, and I'm seeing some in the chat. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing a lot of really good suggestions in the chat. Everything We Never Had by Randy Rebay, yes. Ferris, Kate DiCamillo, yes. Let me see what else. Oh, Impossible Creatures, yes, which is my first book, yes. Not Quite a Ghost, absolutely. Kwame Crashes the Underworld. These are all some wonderful, wonderful selections. Um, these to me really fit the bill for me. Impossible Creatures was fantastic by Catherine Rundell. If you have not read this book, please go get it. It was so good. Mal is a girl who can fly with her special coat. She's being hunted by a murderer. Christopher is a young man who has the ability to connect with animals and creatures. His father doesn't like that he can talk to animals and creatures, and he's been sent to his grandfather's house, and his grandfather has told Christopher that he is the guardian of the archipelago. And these two characters meet because Mal's noticing that there are creatures that are dying, and so these two are teaming together to not only save the archipelago, but also save humankind, the world. There are depths in this scene, and I didn't get a chance to, or excuse me, depths in this book, and I didn't get a chance to mention that when I talked about it a month or two ago. But it's recommended for 5th through 8th grades. But she's left it completely open for a second book, and it is supposed to be coming out, I believe, in 2025, if memory serves me right. But definitely grab Impossible Creatures if you have fantasy fans in your library. The second book on my list, I could not get out of my head. It was so good. This is called The 10th Mistake of Hank Hooperman. It's written by Jennifer Choldenko. And I gotta tell you, this kid, your heart breaks for Hank. He is a very responsible 11-year-old who is on the cusp of turning 12. He takes care of his sister Bridget, or she's called Boo throughout the book, and she's a toddler. She's almost turning 3. Um, the mom has not been home for a week, and Hank is desperate. They've ran out of food. The landlord has knocked on their door saying, "Hey, we're going to evict you. You need to pay up." And Hank really wants to go on a field trip, but he can't go because his mother hasn't signed the permission slip. And he's just desperate. He doesn't know what to do. And so on his permission slip, he looks up the name on the listed as the emergency contact, which is Luann. So he travels on the bus to Luann's to basically say, "Hey, we need help." And since staying at Luann's, Hank has dealt with social workers, a new school, a possible new crush on a girl named Anna, and he's also scared because he could possibly lose his sister to the foster care, and they could be split into 2 foster care homes. This was a compelling book. The mother, you just wanted to wring the mother's neck. But Hank is so resilient and so strong for an 11-year-old to take care of Boo. It was brilliantly written. Characters are well liked, they're believable. You feel for his situation, and I loved how the outcome of this book, it was hopeful, but because he does end up with the neighbor of Luann's, both him and Boo. And even though he's happy that they're going to be adopted, he still has this love for his mom. And I loved how it wrestled with those emotions. So definitely grab The 10th Mistake of Hank Hooperman. The next book on my list that was powerful was Shark Teeth. Shark Teeth was written by Sherry Winston, and it's about Sharkita. Her name is Sharkita, or she goes by Kita. She's 12, and she's way more mature than most of her peers. She's nicknamed Shark Teeth at school because of her crooked teeth, which her neglectful mother refuses to get braces for. Her mother also refuses to get care for her disabled younger brother, Sharkita's younger brother. He constantly needs care, constantly needs supervision, especially since he likes to play around with the stove. and he starts a fire. Sharkita then has been placed in foster care for the first time at age 3 because her mother went out drinking and didn't come home. And it's again, another powerful book about resilience. I don't know if you've seen this in middle grade fiction, but I'm seeing a lot of these powerful stories where there's these heavy storylines where kids are being resilient and they have to pick up the slack because they know something's not right and they know they need to be taken care of. Um, this was another powerful book. Uh, I can see a lot of kids that are in this situation that could relate to it. So I hope you grab Shark Teeth. I hope you give it a try. Excuse me. Um, the next book is Not Quite a Ghost, and that is written by Anne Ursu. This is about Violet. Violet is starting middle school and she's just moved in to a new house with her family and her siblings. The attic bedroom in their new house is shadowy. It's creaky. It's wrapped in this old yellow wallpaper and it's covered with a like tangle of twisting vines and sickly flowers. Um, and after Violet and her family move in, Violet falls ill and she's not getting better. And soon, Violet starts to suspect that she might not be alone in her room at all. This book dealt with themes of living with a disability, tested friendships, managing illness, post-viral syndrome, and chronic fatigue syndrome. This book was inspired by The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. And in the chat, I'm looking, there's a lot of people, there are Amy had suggested Not Quite a Ghost, so that's excellent. And I'm just looking in the chat. Other books people are suggesting. Megan from Bondurant is saying Seance Tea Party. Yeah, that's a good one. And The Benefits of Being an Octopus. For teens, A Constellation of Roses, The Bad Ones, and Your Blood, My Bones. And for adult fiction, The Reformatory, Gothicana, or excuse me, Gothicana, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, and All the Colors of the Dark. Kirsten is saying her favorite book of the year is Wrath of the Triple Goddess by Rick Riordan. Yes, you guys got a lot of good stuff. Another book I want to bring to your attention is called Louder Than Hunger. This is written by John Shu. This is a novel in verse that has been getting a lot of praise this year. It's about Jake. Jake is a young man who volunteers at a nursing home because he likes to help people. He likes skating and singing, playing bingo and name that tune, and reading mysteries and comics aloud to his teachers. The other thing he likes to do, he likes to avoid people his own age. Um, he doesn't like mirrors and how cruel they can be, and food. The thing about Jake is he's listening to the voices in his head, and the voices are getting louder and louder, and they're telling him, you need to exercise more, you need to eat less, don't eat this, work out more, oh, you are not worthy. And Jake has read about kids like him in books, being the weird one, the outsider, and he would do anything not to be that kid. And so he shrinks himself down to nothing. Um, and the less he eats, the bigger he feels. Um, so this is a fictionalized account of the author's experiences and emotions living in residential treatment facilities as a young tween with an eating disorder. Very powerful. It is a quick read. If you like novels in verse, or if you have tweens or teens that like novels in verse, this will fit the bill. The other book I really love this year is a science fiction type novel called The First State of Being, and that was written by Aaron Entrada Kelly. And it's about this young man named Michael, who him and his babysitter meet a young man that is sitting at a bench in their neighborhood. And this young man is not from their world. This young man is from the future. And the cool thing is he travels back to 1999, which is the era that Michael and his babysitter are living in, to see what life was like in 1999. And he wants to tell to tell Michael, hey, don't think about the future yet. Don't think about the future yet. But Michael really wants to know what's going to happen. And Michael also wants to know what's going to happen to the caretaker in the apartment complex. Um, this was a very cool read, especially because I grew up in 1999. I love that era. Some of the references were very cool. But if you like the time traveling aspect, I would definitely pick up the first State of Being. I also wanted to throw in some 2025 books to be aware of. So for 2025, this is going to be on my TBR. To your left is a series alert. Yes, we've got another series alert. I gotta pull my notes. Let me see. This is Max in the Land of Lies. This is book 2 in the Max in the House of Spies was the first book, but Max in the Land of Lies is written by Adam Gidwitz. This will be released on February 25th February 25th of next year. But it is about Max, and he has two roles. He is working as a spy, but the goal is to also find his parents and be reunited with his parents. The story continues that role where he's now getting pulled in deeper and deeper into more espionage, and the lies that he's telling are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If you liked the first book, I really did like the first book. It received a ton of praise. Yes, Sandy, it received a ton of praise. So definitely grab February 25th, Max in the Land of Lies. Ooh, there we go. Oops, I gotta go back one. Sorry, guys. Let's see. I love when technology works. Let me see. I'm trying to get it to go back, so I'm going to fix this really quickly. Amanda, can I have your assistance real quick?
What do you need? What
There we
is
go. I'm trying to get it back to where I need it to be.
uh,
Hang on. I think
I was
I've
like,
got it. There we go. Sorry for that, guys.
we go.
Thanks for being so patient. I appreciate it. Um, so the next book that you should have on your radar for 2025 is called The Gate, The Girl and the Dragon. This is written by Grace Lynn, and this will be released on May 13th. The gate then this is the description. The gate is a stone lion. It's one of the guardians of the old city gate who is charged to watch over humans and protect the sacred spear. But to Jin, those are boring duties and they feel like a waste of time. Um, Jin would rather perfect his techniques and score a golden goal and become the most legendary player in all the spirit world. But when Jin's perfect kick accidentally knocks the sacred spear out through the gate, Jin has no choice but to run after it. And he tumbles out of the realm he calls home and into the human world as the gate closes behind him. Stuck outside the gate, Jin must find help from unlikely allies, including a girl who can hear a mysterious voice and a worm who claims he is a dragon. Together, these three have to find the spear and return to the world beyond the gate or risk losing everything. This is written in the style of Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, which was one of my favorite books from Grace Lynn. So if you love that world building and the atmosphere that she puts into all of her stories, you want to grab The Gate, The Girl, and the Dragon. Okay, we are going to move to my graphic novel picks. Here we go. So again, a ton of great graphic novels this year. I really, really enjoy a good graphic novel. Um, One of my favorites, hands down, this was across the board, was Plain Jane and the Mermaid, and that is written by Vera Brosgol. Jane is incredibly plain. Everyone says so. Her parents, the villagers, even her horrible cousin who kicks her out of her own house. But she's determined to get some sense of independence. And so Jane prepares to propose to Peter, who's very good looking. He's got blonde hair, blue eyes. He's very handsome. And she's hoping that he'll say yes. Um, and he wants to basically get away from his father. So it's a good plan if these two get married. Or it would have been if Peter wasn't kidnapped by the mermaids. And the mermaids have their own agenda. But with her last shot at happiness in the deep blue sea, Jane has to venture into the underwater world to rescue the maybe fiance. I really liked this book. It just Jane sticks up for herself. It's funny. There's some scary scenes in there with the mermaids. Super engaging, very, very fun. Boy versus Shark. I liked this one. This one was written by Paul Gilligan. This is based on the author's experiences growing up in the summer of 1975. And during that time, Paul is 10 years old. He doesn't have a lot to worry about. He just loves his comic books. He loves hanging out with his friends and getting tennis balls off roofs and keeping up with his best friend David and their crazy stunts. But if you remember, in 1975, the movie Jaws came out, and everybody's getting scared over Jaws. I mean, there's teens they're saying, "Oh yeah, I survived Jaws. I saw it. Ha ha ha. What about you? Are you a chicken?" And so, needless to say, Paul wants to go see it, even though he's afraid. And when he does go see it with his dad, he is a cowering mess, and he's just scared, and he just is growing this gap between him and David as well because they're best friends, and now David wants to hang out with the cool teen who does all the naughty things. Um, so Paul, for him, this novel is a coming of age story about just overcoming your fears and sticking up for yourself. So very awesome novel for boys. The next book on my list is How It All Ends. I loved this. This was by Emma Hunsinger. And this is about 13-year-old Tara. She's anxious and gifted. She skips eighth grade and goes directly to high school as a freshman because she was selected for an accelerated program. So instead of attending all the middle school dances and going on the trip to Six Flags, she now has to navigate the world of high school, first friendships, how to get through the hallway without being sucked in with all these teens running around. Um, and I agree, Jonathan, there was some awesome laugh out loud moments, like when she's in English class and the boys are doing goofy stuff in the English class. Um, but she has to navigate all these things, including the social flow and her first crush on another girl in her class named Libby. This is a must-have for middle grades. It is funny, it's touching. Definitely grab How It All Ends. Pizza Face was one of my favorites too. This is book two, written by Rex Ogle and illustrated by Dave Veleza. Um, in the continuation of this book, Rex is just trying to get through middle school, and his mother is a struggling mother working constantly, but he is starting to break out. He has this horrible acne, and so he's just trying to deal with the pressures of seventh grade, being teased, trying to feel like a normal tween and teen. Um, you really feel for him, and I just wanted to wrap my arms and hug this little guy because it was just like so sad. But he finally finds a way to get um, medication so that way his acne can calm down and that way he won't be teased. So definitely get Pizza Face. The New Girl this is book one. It's written and illustrated by Cassandra Kalin. I loved The New Girl. It really nailed down what middle grade life is like. This girl is moving to Canada. She is dealing with periods, cramping, and how to deal with periods. She's learning how to navigate a new school, learning French and learning how to speak French. First crushes on a boy. She's learning just how to deal with being a teenager in middle school. These two you could pair easily. Very engaging books, especially for boys and girls. Pizza Face for boys, New Girl for girls. These are great books that really encompasses the middle grade life. So these were my middle grade graphic novel picks. But I couldn't leave you with just that. We've got middle grade graphic novels for 2025. You got to get on your radar. The first one to your left is called Chicken Pox, written and illustrated by Remy La. This is coming out January 14th. This is about Abby. Abby wants to spend more time with her friends, far away from the snooping eyes of her annoying brothers and sisters. But a case of the chicken pox leaves the live kids covered in scratchy red spots. And so all of the kids have to stay inside the house. And Abby's just going crazy. She's like, oh my God, I cannot stand being inside this house with all these siblings. And she feels responsible for this situation because her best friend brought chickenpox into their home. So that is chickenpox. That is going to come out on January 14th. The next book that's going to be coming out March 4th is called Speechless, written and illustrated by Erin Nels Steinke, excuse me. And Speechless is about Mira. Mira has no problem talking and communicating at home. It's just at school, Mira has trouble speaking up in class. Her former best friend, Chloe, has become her worst enemy, and Mira's only solace is making videos for her secret stop-motion animation channel. But when Chloe's mom has to travel for a family emergency, Mira is horrified to know that her family has volunteered to let Chloe stay with them. So readers will have to see if Mira will have the courage to find her voice in Speechless. The third book that you should get on your radar for next year is also going to be released March 4th. It's called I Survived the Great Molasses Flood of 1919. This is written by Lauren Tarshis and illustrated by Karen de la Vega. So what happens with this? Carmen and her father have moved from Italy to Boston, and they've been there for 4 years. And life is okay, even though things aren't easy. There is a massive metal tank that rises up over their crowded North End neighborhood. The tank is filled with brown, sticky molasses, and it's always leaked. But one day, that tank explodes, and it sends a tsunami of molasses into the street. And so now Carmen not only has to save her father, but also the life that they've built in America. If you have kids that love the I Survived chapter books, they will love this newest installment of the graphic novel series. And the final book that you should get on your radar for 2025 is called Miss Camper. This is a series alert. It's a companion to Miss Quinces, which I loved. That came out a couple years ago. This is written by Kat Fajardo. This will be released on June 3rd. It follows Sue from the first book. Sue is heading to Camp Willow in the summer, and she loves hiking, she loves archery, she loves making comics, and she loves being outdoors. But she's also excited about live action role-playing games, and she can't wait for the freedom of being away from home. But she won't be far from family because her big sister Carmen is the camp counselor, and her little sister Esther is also another camper that's coming, and she won't give Sue any space. And all Sue wants to do is just have memories, spend time with friends. But her best friend Sam has a camp best friend named Marisol. And so there's some feelings there that Sue might just be left behind. Um, so if you enjoyed the first book, Miss Quinces, I loved the family dynamics in that book, especially with the quinceañera. But definitely pick up Miss Camper from Kat Fajardo. And I'm just going to look at the notes. I'm seeing, oh my goodness, Amy says, I'm also loving the second tryout book. Yes, The Squad by Christina Suntorvat. Yes, I'm in the middle of that book too. And she's excited to also read Miss Camper too. Lovely. And I also have my teen graphic novel picks. So this year, oops, I love how my notes just go. There we go. Thanks, guys. So for my teen graphic novel picks, to your left, we have The Deep Dark, written and illustrated by Molly Knox Ostertag. For The Deep Dark, Magdalena is a Latina. She is a high school senior, and she takes on a lot of responsibility. She's caring for her abuela, and she's working part-time at a diner, and she carries a secret that's hidden deep down in the dark of the basement. And this thing is draining her of energy, and it's leaving her bleeding until the return of her childhood friend Nessa forces her to face secrets and find love with her. This was an awesome story. It deals with intergenerational trauma. It deals with grief and finding identity. It was a very powerful read. So I hope you get a chance to read The Deep Dark. The middle book that I really, really loved is also called Lunar New Year Love Story. And this was written by Jean Luen Yang and illustrated by Luen Pham. This was an awesome book. I loved it. It's a fun teen rom-com. And I love the beginning of it because Valentina is the main character. She loved Valentine's Day. Every year she makes Valentines for her classmates, for her father, and she just loved Valentine's Day. That's all she looked forward to. That is until she found out that her mother, who she presumed was dead, left her left her father for another man on Valentine's Day. What a way to open up your book. Um, Now Val feels cursed. She feels like she's never going to find love. No one in her family for generations has had any luck with love at all. But then there's a chance encounter she has with a pair of cute lion dancers, and it sparks something in Val. She's thinking this could be her chance to break the family's curse. Is it love, or is she destined to live with a broken heart? Um, it's a story with heart and humor. I loved the grandmother in this story. She was cracking me up. The illustrations are beautiful. I love Nguyen Pham's illustrations because they also write the Kitty Corn series. So I love those illustrations. I love what they create. Highly recommended on my list. The last book for teen graphic novel picks is called The Harrowing. The Harrowing is written by Kristen Kiesling and illustrated by Rye Hickman. And this is about Rowan Sterling. She should be worrying about normal teenage things, like attending college and whether her best friend Lucas is maybe more than a friend. Instead, she's having terrifying visions of blood and violence. As the premonitions that she's having increase, Rowan seeks her father's help, but instead, she finds herself drugged, kidnapped, and sent to a mysterious facility called Rosewood. It's not long before Rowan is discovering that Rosewood is it's not a boarding school or an asylum. It's actually a training center for teens with special abilities who are known as heroes. And heroes, they can view the actions of would-be murderers before they commit crimes. So they can predict if someone is going to commit a crime. And the scientists at Rosewood believe it's their duty to use the heroes and their powers to make the world a safer place. But when their apprehended by a hero, eminent criminals known as incrims are captured, and they're indefinitely detained in a state of sedation. So this is a very interesting, like science fiction kind of graphic novel. The illustrations have a lot of reds and blacks. It's very, I don't want to say dark, but it's kind of got that borderline of dark. So not too scary, but creepy enough that it makes you question and think. So definitely grab these teen graphic novel picks. I'm going to save more graphic novel picks for 2025 in the January edition of Check It Out, because we are going to move to teen picks. And there we go. I was looking for my notes and I'm sorry about that. So these are my teen picks for 2024. Again, a ton of books, a ton of great books. To your left, the Bletchley Riddle, written by Ruta Septis and Steve Shankin. This was a teen historical mystery about Jacob Novus and his quirky younger sister, Lizzie. Both of them find themselves at Bletchley Park, which is the home of World War II codebreakers working to decrypt the Nazis' Enigma cipher. And the two struggle to unravel a mystery surrounding their mother's disappearance against the backdrop of the Battle of Britain and Hitler's feared invasion. If you like historical novels, if you have teens that like historical novels, this will be your best bet. Again, I'm a big horror reader. I love horror, and these two books are my favorites this year. Such Lovely Skin, written by Tatiana Schlott-Bahn, and this is about a young girl who is spending her summer racked with guilt about causing an accident that killed her little sister. Her name is Viv, and she served her sister a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, knowing that she accidentally forgot that her sister is allergic, and it killed her. And her family is still reeling with grief over her sister's death. Viv is an ambitious gamer, and she's also a chronic liar, so her family is really just not trying to hear Viv at all. And so Viv returns to streaming and the Twitch platform that she plays on. She's never told the parents the truth about the accident, but she's hoping to make it big in streaming and give the money that she makes to them as penance enough for her mistakes. She downloads a new horror game to try out, but when the non-player character asks her for a dark secret, Viv tells what happened that night, and she accidentally unleashes a demon doppelganger into her life. And no one believes that it isn't the real Viv telling these horrible lies and attacking people, except for the cute goth outcast that Ash that she needs. If this would be perfect for our summer reading theme, which is Level Up at Your Library, because it deals with the gaming aspect. Creepy. If you like doppelgangers, if you have teens that love those types of stories, recommend this to them. Influencer by Adam Cesar, who I love. He wrote The Clown in the Cornfield series. This book picked up and did not let go at all. This individual, Adam, he is going around as this persona called the Messenger, and he has a mask, and he basically is kind of a cultish kind of guy. He's just a sociopath. And he moves to this new city in New York, and one of the teens that he meets, she realizes he is the messenger and that he's putting on this fake persona. And so he's like, yes, you're right, I am the messenger. Let me tell you guys what I do. And so one by one, Crystal, she has to basically, she sees her friends get sucked into his cult, and she has to stop him before he hurts any more teens. This really hits home the message of be careful of what you post, be careful of who you follow on social media, and the dangers of social media and what it could cause. Very, very creepy scenes in this. If you like those types of books like I do, grab Influencer. And our last book is Compound Fracture, which I talked about last month. by Andrew Joseph White, about a young man who, after being attacked, has a individual that is covered up and that's going out and seeking revenge. Very creepy. If you like creepy stuff like I do, you want to grab these two books on your all these four books on your list, and of course the two horror creepy books on your list. But I can't leave you without seeing these books for 2025. I keep hearing a lot of buzz about these four books in general, and I just thought, ooh, excuse me. I just thought you've got to see them. I gotta hang on a second. I love when I have a new slide platform and I'm trying to get my slides. Ooh. Hang on, guys. I love when technology works and when it doesn't work. Let's see. There we go. There we go. So these are the four books I keep hearing about, and I think you should get on your radar. To your right, The House No One Sees by Adina King. This is going to be released March 18th. It's about Penelope. Penelope Ross has always felt like a passenger in her mother's fairy tale until the night of her 17th birthday, when she's forced to enter her own. After a text from her estranged mother rips her away from a night with friends, Penelope is forced into a kaleidoscope of memories, locked inside the dark labyrinth of her childhood home. As Penelope wanders between the present and the past, prose and verse, Penelope has to confront her mother's opioid addiction to mend her fractured past. But the house that they're in is tricky. The house is impossible. It wants her to dig up the dead to escape. And Penelope walks through herself to find herself, and she's not sure she has the courage to free the light she is trapped inside. Very, very interesting premise. I'm curious to see what this is going to show and what it's all about. That is going to come out March 18th. This next book is called All the Noise at Once, and it's written by Deandra Davis. This is being released April 15th, and this is being described as the Hate You Give novel. This is about Aiden. All Aiden ever wanted to do was play football just like his quarterback brother, who's a football star, and his name is Brandon. There's an overstimulation meltdown, and it gets in the way of Aiden making the team during summer tryouts. But when the school year starts and a spot unexpectedly needs to be filled, he finally gets a chance to play the game he loves. But not every player is happy about the new addition to the team, and they're wary of how Aiden's autism will present himself on game day. The tensions are rising, there's a fight that breaks out, and the cops are called. And Brandon interferes on behalf of his brother, but is arrested by the same cops who just earlier were chanting his name from the bleachers. When he's wrongly charged for felony assault on an officer, everything Brandon has worked for starts to slip away, and the brothers' relationship is tested. As Brandon's trial inches closer, Aiden is desperate to figure out what really happened that night and if he can clear his brother's name. I am excited for this, and I loved The Hate You Give. I don't know about you guys, but I loved that book. So I'm really curious to see how this comes out as well. The other book I'm hearing praise about is called The Summer I Ate the Rich. A lot of people have told me to get this book. This is written by Micah Moulite and Mariska Moulite. They're sisters. This is about Brielle. Brielle Pettifor loves to cook. Brielle has a chronically sick mother and bills to pay. And so becoming a chef isn't exactly a realistic career path. But when Brielle's mom loses her job suddenly, Brielle has to step in and use her culinary skills to earn some extra money. The rich families who she loves cooking for, or sorry, the rich families who love her cooking, they praise her and they praise her unique flavors of textures and flavors, which keep everyone guessing what is in Brielle's dishes. The secret ingredient is human flesh. This is a horror novel, but it's a racial horror novel in the style of, from what someone had told me, it was like in the style of Get Out, kind of. Um, so I'm excited to pick this up as well. The last book on my list that you should get on your list is called I Am the Cage. This is written by Allison Sweet Grant, and it will be released February 18th. This is about Elizabeth. Elizabeth is 19, and she has everything she wants. She's in Fish Creek, Wisconsin, where it's beautiful, it's quiet, it's isolated, and nobody knows her. She's cloistered inside this tiny cabin, and she just wants to be alone. She wants to hide from her memories and make sure that no one can hurt her again. But when a massive snowstorm strikes and it plunges the town into darkness, Elizabeth has to allow herself to accept help from the next door neighbor, Noah, who's the town's young sheriff. And she's forced to show him her vulnerability than she really intended. And she realizes she can't outrun scars of her childhood and traumas, and she has to face this darkness in order to find her own healing. This has been described as a powerful portrait of a young woman's journey to confront the medical trauma inflicted to fix her and heal her heart in the process. This is a coming of age story, a woman running away from herself and grasping to find a way back. So I want to pick this up as well, and I hope you do too. So sources, these are the sources that I like to use. If you're looking for other best books of 2024 lists, you can check out Chicago Public Library, New York Public Library, Evanston Public Library. They all have different types of best of lists for kids, teens. Other sources I like, National Public Radio's Best Books We Love 2024. School Library Journal's Best Book Lists every year are top notch. Publishers Weekly Best Books of 2024, Kirkus, and New York Times Best Children's Books. I also like Goodreads, but I also have a tiff with Goodreads because they took away the children's part of their readers' favorite books of 2024. And I don't know about you, but that gripes my gears. So I'm kind of bummed out about that. I'm real bummed about that. But they do have, especially for those of you that are looking for adult fiction and nonfiction, I would check those categories on Goodreads because they have a ton of great suggestions for the best books of 2024. And giveaway time, 5 winners will receive a Check It Out book prize pack from me. So all the packs will be delivered via Iowa Shares. November's winners were Annette Martin, Kristen Postal, Julie Long, and June Williams, and Dawn Meadows. So congratulations to all of those winners. I am so excited to see who I pick for the December Check It Out giveaway time. So make sure you tell me your first and last name and what library you're from, because I don't know DMPL1. You got to make sure you say your first and last name. Also, mark your calendars. We are gearing up for another set of STEM fairs and summer reading summits. Right now for for STEM fairs, we are looking for proposals, and the call for proposals are now open. So if you have a really cool STEM program or STEM activity that you are doing with youth and teens and you want to tell other librarians about it, please apply. Apply to propose to present at the STEM fairs. Proposals are due by 4:30 p.m. on January 10th. If you need the application, please email me. I will send you the application. It's a lot of fun. I'm super excited. Also, registration for STEM fairs and summer reading summits will open in January. So be on the lookout next month for information about that. We have a lot of upcoming events. Next month on the 8th, we have Super Size It, summer planning for small, medium, and large size libraries. That'll be from 1 to 2 p.m. on Wednesday, January 8th. We'll have a panel of all different size libraries that will talk about how they plan for summer reading, what do they do when a performer doesn't show up, how do they cope with stress, all different types of things, so that way you can plan your summer reading best. January 13th is the next summer reading office hours with me via Zoom. That is from 10 to 11 a.m. on January 13th. You can register on the Summer Library Program page, but basically it's just 1 hour with me and all your library colleagues sharing ideas for summer reading programs, contact info, but it's just a way to have some camaraderie and share resources and ideas. January 14th, we'll have our All Iowa Reads 2025 author presentations from 10 a.m. to noon. You'll meet all 3 authors from the All Iowa Reads program for kid, teen, and adults, and they will share how they created their stories, and you can ask them questions during the webinar, and we'll share resources that you can use for promoting All Iowa Reads at your library. Also, January 14th from 12 to 1 is the iRead Resource Guide Deep Dive, Programming Crafts, Makers Ideas, Resource Guide Tips and Tricks. That webinar is awesome because Becca from iRead, she does a deep dive and shares some resources in the resource guide, things that you may have overlooked or you never used before. She's going to tell you how to get the most out of that resource guide so you can plan the best summer reading yet. For that, you'll need to register on the Summer Library Program page, which looks like this. Oh my gosh, John, it'll be your last check it out. Oh my gosh, I will miss you too. Thank you. And if you are out of state, check us out on YouTube. We have our State Library of Iowa continuing education page. We post all the check it outs there. So don't feel like you can't miss it. They're always posted there. The Summer Library Program webpage has all of our info of everything that we're having for summer reading, from trainings to the office hours to summer reading summits. All the registration links are there. You just type in the search box Summer Library Program. Don't forget the Canva templates will be available mid-February for summer reading. Again, Canva templates will be available mid-February for summer reading. And with that, my goodness, with 2 minutes to spare, yes, that is it. We'll return in January on Tuesday, January 27th from 11 a.m. to noon. I hope to see you there. And I think that's all I've got.
That was a lot, Janeé. That's good.
It's always a lot.
I know. That's good though. It's always fun. Yeah, it'll be good.
I just hope you guys get a lot of out of this, and I hope you guys find this helpful. So please reach out if you need anything. I'm more than happy to help. So yeah.
Just as a reminder, we will get you guys all checked off in Workday Learning, and the slides will also be in there too with in that course title. Sorry, but yeah. And I didn't see any chat or any questions or anything come through while you were going through that. So looks good. Lots of thank yous and lots of books. Lots of fun titles to look forward to for this new year.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Eat some really good food, relax, read some good books, go watch a movie if you need to. But I hope you take some time for you to enjoy these holidays as we get through 2024 and move to 2025. So thank you guys so much. Happy New Year.
Thank you, everyone.